Well folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you another DPP Revival Invitational series. This is a round 4 losers bracket matchup between Lazuli and Ladybug. So again, whoever loses here gonna be eliminated from the tournament. Not by Joust, needs to be set. Y'all are both familiar with these players by now. Let's just jump right into this. Infernape lead, Tentacruel lead. Tenna just got let a pump rip, so that's a Scarf Tenna if I've ever seen one. Into a Swampert follow-up, but Swampert's gonna get rocks up, so Lazuli probably bring Infernape offense, probably has to have a Pursuiter in the back, and Ladybug's got pivot into his own Metagross. Meta showing lefty, so this might be an Impish meta. 30% decent damage on what looks to be an off-per, and oh, nice Toxic there. Lazuli trying to snipe the Celebi, not gonna get that. So and it's Protect meta, so Protox meta, pretty cool lure. This means that it probably lacks Explosion. It's probably Mash EQ, which is normally what it is here. But if that's the case, I think Ladybug has to have a Mag in the back if you're going to run Protox, because otherwise Skarmory just kind of sits on you all day. Breloom's gonna be a follow-up here, so Lazuli with a double fighter setup here. Could be like, you know, double water, double fighter. And we see a meta here, so Lazuli's last. There's probably a Latias in the back too, and oh, Meteor Mash misses into the Gliscor, unfortunate. And into a Latias, which is what we expected. Latias might be Specs, might be Scarf. We don't know for sure, and Lazuli makes a really good double there into his own meta to check Ladybug's own Metagross. And EQ's gonna be thrown out here. And Ladybug's gonna just try to pivot around his Metagross, trying to force it to explode, you know, do something else. Breloom being the Gliscor check here, interesting, but Gliscor may or may not have wing attack, we don't know for sure, but Lazuli just got Seed Bomb there, just gotta play it safe. Celebi is kind of like a good catch-all answer to Breloom here, as the Tentacruel is asleep, obviously. And Lai's gonna be pivoted out on a Anticipate Recover, could threaten a Trick here. Going to do just that, and it is in fact a Scarf Latias, probably Healing Wish as well. And this Metagross is going to be locked into Meteor Mash due to a Choice Scarf, and we know it has no Explosion, so there's that to keep in mind. I think Lazuli's last here could be a Rotom, perhaps. Could also be a second Steel, like a Scizor, that would make some sense here. And oh, huge crit there on the Tyranitar, but gonna get the Healing Wish off. Going to heal the Swampert back up to full, but going to eat that CB Crunch up really badly. 67% damage, nice. And the Breloom's gonna be sacrificed here, so Lazuli in a terrible spot now against this CB Tar, which might have some speed crept up for things like Metagross if he was able to get that off. We don't know for sure. And yeah, so it is in fact a type overlap team. We got like double water, double fighter, and then Mag is the last on Ladybug's team, which makes a lot of sense. Unless this is Jolly Giro, which would be something. No, just got Explode here. And there's actually a way out for Lazuli now. It's going to require the Gyarados to DD up. Not only that, the Gliscor also has to not have Taunt. That's the only way Lazuli can win this. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case here. And it's going to get worn down by Sand Chip as well. 17%, not bad damage. And then, yeah, it's at 10%, so this game is basically over. And Ladybug going to take this game 1. And just a little bit of post-game de facto commentary. So I think you can really see how something like a Tentacruel lead, Ladybug being able to kind of flip the script a little bit on the Infernape lead with the Scarf Tentacruel was really huge, because if you look at Ladybug's team, like you got Celebi, Meta, T-Tar, Infernape was actually a huge threat, so the Ladybug being able to let the Hydro Pump rip turn 1, being able to get the jump on that, proved to be a huge difference maker in this matchup, because otherwise Infernape would have looked absolutely fantastic, assuming this is CB Infernape, which is like a pretty popular, which is like typically what you'd see on Infernape leads. And then unfortunately the rest of Lazuli's team like kind of just had trouble breaking down Ladybug's team. Like, yeah, you had the Gira, but the problem was like you had the Magneton he would have needed to make some plays, like maybe EQ on the switch, and then something like, but even then it's like you had the Celebi. Even if this had no T-Wave, then like Grassmount was still doing a crap ton to Gira. Meta was kind of checked by, you know, their own meta, and Gliscor was just like really annoying. Oh yeah, the Toxic meta was also huge, being able to kind of get the jump on Swampert, forced the Latias to waste its Healing Wish on Swampert, and then the Swampert evidently being slower than T-Tar was also a factor too. And the Metagross unfortunately just being slower than the T-Tar also kind of pretty fatal too, like for any chances of Lazuli coming back in this game. But that being said though, let's go into game 2. Here are game 2. Rose lead, T-Tar lead, so Rose are gonna get Toxic Spikes up, and Tyranitar is gonna get... Okay, so this is either a Scarf Rose and a Scarf T-Tar, or... Oh, this might be the case here. So we have some double Rose Brings here. And then Spike's gonna be thrown out on Lazuli's end. And the Latias looks to be a threat here, but going to get the Reflect up. Swamper's going to be pivoted in with the Reflect. It's not going to do a ton. Oh no, it's a defensive T-Tar, so this tells us that this is probably a bulky offense. Don't be surprised if Lazuli also has a Lati in the back, but Roam's going to be revealed on Lazuli's end. But going to have to instantly pivot back out. Ladybug trying to cover a possible trick there by going T-Tar. T-Tar's going to get to protect here. Going to block the Roar, so both players have defensive Pert. And defensive Pert going to just Ice Beam the Latias for significant damage. And then just go Ice Beam again. And Latias kind of forced in an awkward position where like you don't really have a great switch in the Swampert. Both players obviously should have Steels in the back, probably Heatran. Jirachee's also plausible too. And oh, gets the free, Ladybug gets the freeze that he's looking for. Probably didn't anticipate that right away, but you gotta get the Reflect up. I'm going to threaten this Roserade, which looks to be a Spadef Rose, and then, yep, there's the Heatran as the choice of Steel, and don't forget Freeze Claws is active, so Lazuli won't have to worry about freezes for the rest of the game. T-Bolt's here, and Lava Plume, so fortunately neither player brought a Clefable, because otherwise this Lava Plume Tran would just be kind of useless. And then, oh, Ladybug bringing Bolt Beam coverage is interesting, because, well, Bolt Beam coverage on defensive Lati is not a bad option. Typically you want T-Wave so that you have the option to cripple something like a T-Tar, like just being able to give yourself a chance to BS your way out of like a Pursuit interaction, like things like that. But T-Bolt is nice because it lets you contain something like a DD Gira, which tells us that, you know, maybe Ladybug's team is a little bit soft into. So that's like one reason why. And wow, we got a lot of freezing going around here. Pert's frozen, and oh, that might be out of commission. Ladybug choosing Rotom Heat as the Rotom appliance of choice. Gotta get a trick off here. Into a T-Tar, and gotta cover the Rose switch. which is actually, yeah, so Lazuli went Rose Rate there because I think Lazuli would have been okay with having the Rose Rate eat the Scarf up and then have the Rotom lose even more health with Black Sludge. So like, that's one way I like how to deter tricks. Anyways, Swamper's gonna be swapped again. This Swampert, not much of a shelf life, and could prove to be vital because Swampert would have been annoying otherwise. And oh, interesting choice from Ladybug there to just Toxic Spikes instead of just threatening a Leaf Storm. Well, actually no, I think that's, oh wait, no, but I'm not sure if Ladybug realizes, but if Lazuli brings the Rose in and it's gonna remove the T-Spikes, yeah. That's what I was talking about. Oh, wow. Anyways, yeah, so that's actually huge. Huge, yeah, I think, but to be fair, that's a very fringe mechanic that you rarely see come into play. So that's where, so Lazuli saving himself with a mechanic knowledge with the T-Spikes interaction, and Ladybug in the chat saying that he did not know about this. That might actually cost Ladybug the game. And this Latias on its last legs, gotta recover here. Lazuli could just fish for a crit here pretty safely. Especially the burn damage really wearing the Latias down too. And really I think one of the takeaways we can see here is that Heatran, there's a reason why Heatran with Lava Plume used to be like such a prominent metagame figure in the tier. Like, because of things like this, like, you really see the power of Burns' 12% just really wearing down these threats passively each turn, especially in a permanent sand tier. And then T-Targa, still pretty healthy, Lazuli trying to fish for a Fa. Not gonna get that. And Gliscor's gonna be pivoted out. Gonna eat up this crunch. This crunch not gonna do a whole lot. Gliscor is interesting last on this like Firewall Grass Core that Lazuli's got going. Like, you're running one steal, but normally in DPP you want to run at least 2 steals. But I think if you're running both Swampert and Gliscor, this is one of those times where you don't necessarily. It's not really a hard rule per se, but I'd say it's one of the few times where like it would make sense, like where you could get away with running one steal because Swampert and Gliscor are both very resilient, especially against something like Jirachee. And then the Rotom's gonna try a trick here. Lazuli could go into his own Rotom, but gonna go into T-Tar here, so that's actually a really good play for Lazuli, knowing that Ladybug might try to take advantage of that. And T-Tar's gonna get a defense drop. Gonna go into Swampert. That's kind of like just a good catch-all answer here, especially because it's a non-CB tar. And I think what's very interesting here as this game is winding down is that you really see the two different directions for steals that you know, both players take in terms of these Rose Ray teams, like using back rows. And then T-Tar's gonna go down, and then you see Jirachee as Ladybug is last as the means of dealing with Fable, whereas like with Lazuli, it's like you're using, I mean, I assume this Heatran probably has Explosion, and then like taunt Gliscor to a degree, and oh, nice pivot there by Lazuli. But yeah, you really see how like both teams like kind of take different approaches in terms of having their teams adapt to the modern DPP, and Heatran's gonna cover that up, and Ladybug's gonna forfeit, and Lazuli would take the game 2 pretty handily. Yeah, and that said though, let's just go into game 3. I mean, I've kind of said my piece about like both players' teams already, and really the Rose Rate T-Spike interaction, like using it as a sacrifice just as it dies to remove the T-Spike, was just like really smart gameplay from Lazuli. Unfortunately, just a really tough error for Ladybug to swallow, like just from not realizing that mechanic. And to be fair, I think most people would probably forget about that too. Anyways, that's it though. Let's go into game 3. Bronzong lead, Jirachee lead. Jirachee's got Trick turn 1, and Lefty Zong is shown, so this might be a bulky offense or like a stall. Whereas for Jirachee, a little bit more ambiguous. We see Selby, so Selby might be a rocker here. Could be like just mono grass knot with like SR, and oh, this is part in. You got him part ice from Ladybug. And Breland's gonna be invited in, so you see, yeah, Lazuli probably bring a very classic team with, you know, CB Tar, Jirachee, Celebi, Zapdos, Starmie. That's like the typical 6 that comes to mind when you see this, like so far on Lazuli's end. Whereas with Ladybug, you know, Zong Zap, Breloom, there's I mean, there could be a Magnum back, could be, might not be, I would expect there to be a Starmie, and then, yeah, you can see the Celebi. Celebi in this meta game is that sometimes Celebi can just kind of sit on the team all day. Like, if you don't have a way to break it, it's like, you could be in for a rough time. Oh, Blissey though. Blissey has been seeing a little bit of a mini resurgence in terms of usage, simply because of how people have been trying to take advantage of Fable teams with things like Specs Kingdra, Specs Starmie. This is where Blissey comes in, and Ladybug's just healing this off and letting the toxic damage do work. And yep, there's a Starmie. And both players have Starmie, so Zap Me, Bliss, last can be Jirachee, last could also be T-Tar, like CB Tar, because like Breloom plus T-Tar pretty common combo. If you want to go the route of second steal, then something like Scizor could also work too on Ladybug's team, just off the top of my head. Anyways, yeah, so we might be in for a long one here, you know, both players. Yeah, I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit and then kind of talk about what's happening as this goes on. And yeah, Ladybug in game chat saying this will take a minute. Yeah, absolutely. As for both players, the openings they should be looking for here, if Ladybug has a Tyranitar or like a Celebi beater of some kind, you should be looking for opportunities to get that in. For Lazuli though, if he does have the CB-Tar in the back, which I think he should, anytime CB-Tar comes in, then that is one way Lazuli could really push the game forward in his favor. And then Grass Knot here, Ladybug's just really trying to PB stall out the Celebi long term, so that's what he's trying to aim for. And yep, CB-Tar has come in on a full para, which is like the best possible scenario you could ask for. Gets a huge pursuit there. So last is in fact Jirachee. And then Starmie's gonna check this all day, but it's gonna come in to a Breloom. And great call, great focus punch there, doing significant damage to Jirachee, but come back punch here. And in exchange, Fire Punch occurs. And just gonna try to Bach Punch straight into Celebi. That's not gonna do a whole lot. Ladybug's team actually is gonna have a lot of trouble actually beating the Celebi, because like Celebi can just spread T-Waves around, and then Toxic Softball, Size Toss. Oh jeez, I think the last here. I don't think double status would make a lot of sense on Blissey. I'd expect like Ice Beam or Fire Blast or something. Yeah, that's probably what I'd be expecting. Rest on Blissey, that's not going to do a whole lot. Because, like, this is Blissey we're talking about here. They'll fall into a Starmie. And Starmie's just got to eat this Toxic out, but it's not good. Sorry, you can just kind of heal this off, especially because you have double natural cure. And because you have double natural cure, that means that you're just gonna have an easy time, just like kind of swapping around, PV stalling out. Oh, there's the Ice Beam. Ladybug's gonna need a couple freezes to turn this game back in his favor. Bring Breloom in, try to get some passive healing back. Jeez. And oh, Hidden Part 11%. That's a heat-proof song if I've ever seen one. So Lazuli probably fully aware of that. This means that Swampert can actually be a huge threat now. Got EQ there, yeah, no surprises. And Ladybug saying, hey, yo, that's cheating. Ladybug, come on, man. Come on, man, that Hidden Part fire damage should have been a huge giveaway, but only doing 11%, yeah, that's how you know it's heat proof. Anyways, yeah, so that's just like good situational awareness, if nothing else. Anyways, Ice Beam's here, doing 30%. Yeah, this game went from bad to worse for Ladybug, because the other thing for Lazuli is that I think with the way this game is playing out, Lazuli's gonna at least have 2 or 3 more chances to bring the CB Tyranitar into game pretty safely. And oh, great pivot there from Ladybug there to cover the CB Tar entry. Got Force Punch here. And then Celebi's probably just got heal up. Yup, no surprises here. And then obviously got threaten a Hidden Power against Breloom. And Swampert's like slowly losing health. Got Seismic Toss here, Ladybug trying to make a play, trying to cover the Tyranitar, but oh, gets the rocks up here into a Starmie. This would be a great chance to bring. Oh, Zapdos is the last, so yeah, not surprising. Called this from like, I don't know, turn 10. And T-Bolt's there. Not a favorable exchange for Ladybug in any scenario. I'm gonna bring Swampert in. Oh, this Swampert's in Torrent range, by the way, so Waterfall is going to do a significant amount of damage no matter what comes in. And Zapdos got heal up, and then Swampert can just go for the flinch here, because it's gonna be dead next turn. And oh, gets a huge crit instead for all his troubles. And Jirachi's at 32%. It's going. Starmie's got threaten a T-Wave. Just go Surf it out. Oh yeah, it is still doing good damage to Breloom. Oh, not a great time to flood into Breloom like that. Gotta eat that up. A crit could have been fatal. Because like Mach Punch would have finished off the Onion. But gotta come out to Zapdos, as I was trying to T-Wave, trying to catch the CB Tar in the switch. And then now brings the Tyranitar in, and a Ladybug gets the T-Wave he's looking for. But regardless of what happens here, this Tyranitar is just gonna do big damage regardless. And really all Ladybug has to look for is like just a... Oh, you gotta eat 53% from that crunch, so that Breloom is not safe. But Celebi can safely switch in. The Parrot CB Tar is gonna be annoying, but considering what Ladybug has left, he actually cannot safely switch anything in on this Zapdos, so Lazuli's next entry point could be whenever Zapdos might have to heal up. Gets a full para there. I think, yeah, great entry point there. Gets what he's looking for, full para. And then, oh, T-Tar para'd as well. And, oh, just gotta eat a Rock Slide, though. So, that Zapdos going down, and this game is pretty much a wrap. at this point. And really, I think this game is just a textbook example of what a team that can't really break. This is what happens when a team cannot break a defensive Celebi, and this is one of the reasons why Celebi has seen a bit of a resurgence these last couple years. Gone are the days are people like, you know, Jirachee saying that bring Celebi might as well be handicapping yourself or something along the lines of that. And really you see how like Celebi can just annoy opposing teams with T-Wave, and just being able to sit on Breloom is such a valuable trait, especially in a meta game where, like, you know, a lot of teams don't have great ways to deal with Sleep and Breloom. And then this is also why if you're running something like Breloom, I think nowadays is like you need to have a consistent game plan to punish Celebi, like a CB Tar, for example. And man, yeah, this is a slow death if I've ever seen one. And Ladybug's just got forfeit, and Lazuli's going to move on to round 5. Thank you for playing, Ladybug. And yeah, so Lazuli takes the series 2-1. And we really just see like just a classic 6 here from Lazuli, just putting on a clinic. Especially defensive Celebi, just like being able to wall Ladybug's entire team, and then like just the solid situational awareness to like just click EQ on the pert on the Bronzong, especially after the hidden power fire damage, which was like kind of a huge indicator of what the Bronzong's ability was. I would have never guessed that the Bronzong was heat proof if I in that scenario, but you know, that being said though, if you guys enjoyed these videos, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.